As the WNBA season inches closer, the clock has become a bargaining chip. Owners are dragging out negotiations, watching the days tick by, and waiting for panic to set in. The longer players remain without a collective deal, the more vulnerable they become to accepting individual offers that appear too good to pass up. It's not just about salaries. It's about timing, scheduling, and the looming threat of missed games or lost venues. By using delay as leverage, owners are squeezing players into corners, hoping fear will fracture unity before the season even starts. But the tactics go deeper than just waiting. These offers are carefully timed to destabilize, promising financial security now while undermining the possibility of real, structural change later. The league is testing whether players, especially its biggest names, will trade solidarity for certainty. And in doing so, it's not just challenging a union. It's challenging the future of the league itself. It started quietly. A few whispers about offers going out. Some side eyes in the locker room. Then boom, word breaks that WNBA owners are bypassing the union entirely, slipping individual contract deals to players. Just weeks before the season. No collective bargaining agreement. No consensus. Just hand-delivered promises of money, stability, and career security if you sign now. The timing wasn't random.
If you're here for the real story and not the filtered version, subscribe. And if you're sticking around for the next meltdown, you better definitely subscribe.
The season's inching closer. Training camps are in sight, and the owners know the pressure is rising. So they're banking on one thing, that players will panic, that they'll take the bag instead of holding the line. And they're dangling some serious bait, especially in front of names like Caitlin Clark. Behind the scenes, league leadership is treating this like a chess match. Kathy Engelbert and the WNBA front office are calculating each move. There's no official CBA, yet contracts are being floated like it's business as usual. Except it's not. This tactic isn't negotiation. It's a workaround. It's management trying to fracture union solidarity one signature at a time. The owners are selling it as opportunity. They're positioning the deals as individual wins, downplaying the impact on the collective. But the truth? This is a play straight from the corporate playbook. Divide and conquer. Offer enough security to tempt players into breaking ranks. Once the star power splinters, the union loses its leverage. Even though the WNBA operates separately, Adam Silver's fingerprints are all over this strategy. The NBA has used similar moves in its own labor standoffs. And this multi-pronged approach, the timing, the offers, the psychological pressure, feels like a page straight out of Silver's management philosophy. Owners aren't just offering money. They're using time as a weapon. Every day, without a deal, is a countdown to chaos. Arenas need to be booked. Schedules need to be locked. If the union holds out too long, the season could slip through their fingers. That threat alone is enough to make players think twice. Publicly, players are walking a tightrope. Caitlin Clark's press appearances have been careful, non-committal. There's pressure from every side. Fans, media, brands. Everyone's watching to see where she lands. And that attention isn't just about basketball. It's about leverage. Her endorsement deals and star status mean her choices could sway the entire conversation. If she signs early, it sends a message that even the league's biggest draw isn't waiting for structural change. But if she holds the line, it gives the union a shot at real progress. That's why these offers aren't just about money. They're about symbolism. And the league knows it. Angel Reese has been vocal about player power and visibility. She's not just a rising star. She's also a lightning rod for discussions about equity, branding, and what it means to be valuable off the court. So when these offers started surfacing, attention turned to her too. Would she fold? Would she resist? Reese's brand is built on defiance, but that doesn't mean she's immune to financial pressure. These offers are designed to be seductive. Owners know that players with high-profile sponsorships might still feel the heat. Because this isn't just about personal value, it's about collective. Kelsey Mitchell has quietly become a central figure in the Fever's identity. She's been through the rebuilds, the quiet years. She's seen how slowly change happens in the league. And for players like her, this kind of crossroads hits differently. Take the money now, or gamble on structural reform. In recent interviews, Mitchell's walked the line between hopeful and cautious. Her perspective matters because she's not a headline name, but she's consistent, and those players are the backbone of the league. If too many core players start signing individual deals, the union's foundation starts to crack. Nneka Ogwumike's history as union president looms large here. Her years leading the WNBA set a precedent for fighting back. But leadership now faces its toughest test. Can they keep everyone aligned when the offers get personal? When they hit inboxes with exact numbers, guaranteed bonuses, and timelines? The union was built on the promise of something bigger. Shared risk, shared reward. But this isn't a vague theory anymore. It's real money, real contracts, real deadlines. And the owners are counting on hesitation to turn into division. If Nneka's legacy is going to hold, it depends on unity right now. All of this drama is unfolding while fans are getting hyped for the season. Game photos, preseason teasers, match promo drops, they're flooding timelines. But behind the curated content is a storm brewing. Because none of it means anything if the season doesn't launch on time. Arenas are on hold. Broadcast deals are floating in limbo. The logistics of running a league can't wait forever. That uncertainty is exactly what the owners want players to feel. It's another layer of pressure. Public hype with no guarantee behind it. And it's working. The tension is not everyone's handling the weight of the moment the same way. Clark has been visibly uncomfortable in interviews lately. Not sad in the personal sense, but in the heavy, pressured, this is bigger than basketball sense. The weight of expectation is real. Everyone expects her to lead, to be the one who holds the line. But she's 22. She just got here. Still, the league has tied its growth narrative to her success, which makes this even messier. If she turns down an offer, it could stall momentum. If she takes it, it could break the union. That's the impossible position she's in. And the league is fine with that, because pressure makes decisions happen faster. In interviews, Clark's answers have been precise, carefully worded. She talks about team goals, league growth, player respect. But she's not tipping her hand, because whether she realizes it or not, her stance could make or break the season's labor narrative. And that's not a fair burden, but it's the one she's got. The league is using her star power as leverage, both against other players and as PR. They're betting that her presence will push others to follow. That if she accepts a deal, the rest will fall in line, which makes her one of the most valuable bargaining chips in this whole negotiation. The offers are quiet, confidential, not blasted out in press releases. But everyone knows they're circulating, and players are talking, because the second one person signs, the floodgates could open. The league is gambling on that domino effect. Get one name, just one, then let the pressure build. Clark hasn't signed. Not yet. And that silence? It's deafening, because her decision carries weight far beyond her rookie year. The WNBA has used her image in almost every promo campaign. She's the marketing plan. So every executive, every agent, every teammate is watching to see if she'll break the stalemate or hold out. Kathy Engelbert isn't saying much either. Not publicly. Her messaging has stayed neutral. She supports the players, wants what's best, and hopes for a deal. But let's not pretend this is a hands-off approach. The strategic release of offers during a negotiation freeze? That doesn't happen by accident. Under Engelbert, the WNBA has pushed growth, visibility, and player empowerment. But empowerment doesn't mean offering 12 different players 12 different deals behind closed doors. That's not reform. That's fragmentation. She's balancing the business needs of the league against the political firestorm brewing in the locker rooms. And it's not going well. Angel Reese has hinted at the tension. In interviews, she's mentioned taking care of each other and keeping it real in the locker room. That's not just about camaraderie. It's a veiled warning. The vibe among players is shaky, because no one wants to be the reason the union fractures. But no one wants to miss a financial window either. Reese's branding success off the court puts her in a rare space. She can wait. She doesn't need to jump at the first deal. But she knows not everyone has that luxury. And that's what makes this whole strategy so dangerous. It's personal. Every player has a different ceiling, a different need, a different risk. Nneka Ogwumike's name keeps coming up, even though she's no longer president of the Players' Union. Her tenure set the tone for what solidarity was supposed to look like. And right now, her legacy is under pressure. This isn't a theoretical fight about the future of the league. It's happening now, contract by contract. Her work helped push for charter flights, increased pay, and better benefits. But all of that came from collective bargaining. None of it came from secret side deals. The players know this. The owners know this. And they're trying to bypass it anyway. That's the quiet insult underneath these offers. It's an attempt to erase the work that came before. When Clark was asked directly about the negotiations, she didn't flinch. She said the focus was on the season, on basketball, on what she could control. But you could feel it, the careful calculation behind every word. Because she's not just speaking for herself. Every comment becomes ammunition. Her endorsements add another layer. Brands want her on the floor, on time, not stuck in a labor standoff. So now she's balancing sponsor expectations against teammate loyalty. That's not just stressful, it's unsustainable. And the league, again, knows this. That's the core of their strategy. Pressure every player where it hurts. Kelsey Mitchell, meanwhile, doesn't have the media circus around her, but her situation is just as intense. She's a veteran in a league that often treats non-stars like disposable assets. The offers coming her way might not include big headline numbers, but they promise something more immediate: security. Mitchell's in that middle space. Valuable, but not flashy. Respected, but not the face of a franchise. For her, this choice is brutal. Walk away from a guaranteed deal and hope for a better future, or sign and sacrifice the possibility of league-wide change. The owners are counting on players like her to fold. Every day this drags out, the tension grows. Clark's body language has shifted. She's not disengaged, just heavy. The joy that came with her early WNBA appearances has been replaced by constant scrutiny. She's become the unwilling face of a labor war she didn't create. Fans want her to lead. Teammates want her to wait. Sponsors want her to play. The league wants her to comply. And through all of it, she's stuck between principle and pressure. That's a brutal space for a rookie. And yet, the owners are pushing it to the limit, banking on exhaustion to win. Adam Silver isn't officially in this fight, but his influence is undeniable. The NBA's support of the WNBA includes business advice, media strategy, and yes, labor negotiation tactics. And this whole situation feels eerily similar to NBA lockout plays. Fragment the union. Isolate the stars. Push personalized offers. Get the deal done. What's happening now is less about communication and more about psychological warfare. The delay in reaching a new CBA isn't just a standoff, it's a tactic. The owners are betting that players will feel the squeeze and break formation before the union can present a unified front. And with each new offer, that bet gets stronger. Clark's recent interview didn't mention contracts, but the subtext was loud. She talked about the league's future, about growing the game, and how she wants to be part of something bigger. That could mean anything, or it could mean exactly what everyone thinks it does. She's not ready to sell out just yet. But even silence can be read as resistance. The league wanted her to be the first to say yes, to signal that the holdout wasn't worth it. Instead, she stalled. She's weighing her options, and the longer she waits, the more empowered the union becomes. The offers lose impact when the biggest name doesn't bite. Meanwhile, the season's marketing engine is in full swing. The highlight reels, the scrimmage photos, the gym sessions, it's all being pumped out like everything's normal. But that gloss can't hide the fact that the foundation is cracking. You can't promote a league that doesn't know if it's starting on time. The owners are using these visuals to apply pressure too. Look how close we are to tip off, they're saying without saying it. It's emotional leverage, and it works. Fans start asking questions. Media speculation ramps up. Every Instagram comment becomes a reminder that time is running out. The silence from Caitlin Clark is louder than any official press release. And for owners who thought they could fast-track this process by targeting her first, that silence is turning into a problem. She's not budging. Not yet. And whether it's strategy or uncertainty, the impact is real. Clark's refusal to break ranks, intentional or not, is forcing everyone else to hold their breath. The longer she holds out, the less appealing those quiet, backdoor deals start to look to everyone else. Because if the most marketable rookie in league history isn't signing early, why should anyone? Engelbert continues to play both sides. Publicly, it's all about collaboration and shared goals. But behind closed doors, the league is rolling out a pressure campaign. The offers aren't just for star players. They're hitting mid-tier veterans, rookies, and anyone the league thinks might blink first. And it's not just about money. The offers are being dressed up with subtle language, promises of priority scheduling and visibility initiatives. Empty buzzwords meant to disguise the fact that there's still no formal agreement in place. The players know it. The union knows it. And they're calling it what it is, a divide and conquer. In her most recent sit-down, Angel Reese addressed the elephant in the room. People think we're not paying attention, but we are. She didn't name names, didn't mention the owners directly, but her tone was sharp. She's aware of the manipulation at play, and she's not here for it. Reese is in a unique spot, too new to be considered a veteran, but too high profile to be ignored. The league wants her to play along, to take the deal and move on. But so far, she hasn't. And every time she refuses to go along quietly, it sends another ripple through the player. There's this look Clark's been giving during press rounds lately, focused but strained. She's under pressure from every angle, and the emotional toll is starting to show. She didn't come into the league asking to be the symbol of labor resistance. But here she is. It's the weight of being the face of a movement without signing up to lead it. Clark's frustration is real. Not because she doesn't care, but because she does. She understands what's at stake. She just wants to play ball. But that's not an option when the league's future is hanging in the balance. During a recent interview, when asked about the status of negotiations, Clark gave a carefully worded response. We're still figuring things out. No commitment, no denial. But what she didn't say spoke volumes. She's not rushing. She's not folding. And that resistance, subtle as it is, matters. Every time she takes a pause instead of an early deal, it reinforces the message the union is trying to send. This isn't about individual gain. It's about systemic change. And the owners can't strong-arm their way to a new normal if the biggest names keep. Kelsey Mitchell's voice has been a grounding force through all of this. While others are being pulled into high-profile debates, she's kept her focus on unity. We've come this far together, she said in an interview. We can't fold now. That kind of messaging may not get headlines, but it's exactly what's keeping the union upright. Mitchell represents the vast majority of WNBA players, the ones who don't get shoe deals or national commercials, the ones who need the union to function. And the league's tactics are threatening that foundation. At a recent presser, Clark was asked directly if she'd been offered an individual contract. Her answer, I'm focused on what's happening with my team. It wasn't a denial. It was a pivot, but it also confirmed what many suspected. Offers are out there, and some are still on the table. The league is watching her every move. Every public appearance is dissected, because in a season without a CBA, her presence or absence could swing the entire PR narrative. That's why the pressure to sign is so intense. But she's resisting, and so far, she's not alone. You can feel Adam Silver's influence all over this playbook. It's calculated, it's quiet, and it's built on the assumption that unity is fragile. That if you push just hard enough, someone will crack. But Silver's underestimating one thing. This generation of players talks. Constantly, openly, relentlessly. There's no room for secrecy in 2026. Text threads, group chats, social media subtweets, they're all part of the battleground now. And when players find out that someone else got a slightly better deal, they talk, they compare. And that transparency is killing the league's attempt to pick them off one by one. Nneka may be watching from the sidelines now, but her fingerprints are on everything. She spent years preparing players for moments like this, where the pressure would be real, the stakes would be high, and management would try to undercut their unity from within. Her impact is showing up in how players are responding, not with silence, but with purpose. They're pushing back, asking questions, refusing to accept the first number thrown at them. That's the difference between a league that caves and a league that fights. And so far, they're still fighting. The preseason content hasn't slowed down. Behind-the-scenes videos, training photos, hype clips, it's all rolling out as if nothing is wrong. But every time a new highlight hits social, the contradiction grows louder. How do you celebrate a league that might not even launch on time? That cognitive dissonance is part of the owner's strategy too. Keep the illusion alive. Make it look like everything's fine so fans don't start asking questions. But the players know what's really going on, and they're getting tired of pretending. What's wild is how fast all of this has shifted. Just a few months ago, Caitlin Clark was being introduced like the league's golden ticket. Now, she's become the lightning rod in a standoff no one saw coming. And still, no deal. No leak. No quick resolution. Her silence is starting to sound like protest. It's not that she's fighting the league outright. She hasn't said anything inflammatory. But she also hasn't signed. Hasn't blinked. And that non-action is louder than any PR statement the league could push. It's her way of saying, you don't get to buy my silence with a flashy offer. Engelbert keeps walking the tightrope, publicly saying the right things, privately steering a ship that's testing the limits of what players will tolerate. The goal is simple. Get just enough players to break from the union so that the rest collapse under pressure. But what's happening is the opposite. The more these offers leak, the more unified the players seem to become. Every private deal floated turns into a group discussion. Players are comparing numbers, terms, tone. They're seeing through it. And that cohesion? That's Engelbert's worst case. Angel Reese summed it up best in her last interview. You can't say you believe in us and then try to divide us. That one line hit like a warning shot. The league loves to profit off the sisterhood image when it's convenient. But when the checks come out, it's every woman for herself. Reese sees the playbook. She's not new to how public figures are used to control a narrative. And she's not letting the league write this one without a fight. Her resistance is intentional. And it's keeping the pressure on the league to come correct, not just come with cash. Clark was asked once again about the negotiation status at her latest press conference. Same calm face, same diplomatic answer. But her eyes told a different story. She knows the impact of her decision. She knows the league needs her more than she needs them right now. That's leverage, and she's holding it with both hands. This isn't just a standoff over contracts. It's a reckoning about power, about how much value these athletes truly hold. The WNBA tried to test the players' resolve, and the players didn't flinch. Whether this ends with a better deal or a delayed season, one thing's clear. This group isn't breaking easily. If you're watching all of this unfold with the same mix of shock and admiration, you're not alone. Drop your thoughts below, because we know you've got them. Don't forget to like the video if you're all in for these players standing strong. Share it with someone who still thinks athletes should just play, and hit that subscribe button, because this isn't the last standoff and you won't want to miss what happens next.